people say I'm great. I don't think that I'm great, but they call me great.
He's a foundation. He's a root, one of the artists from Jamaica's first waters.
It's a combination of everything that makes you who you are. He's a great talent, a good singer, good writer, good performer.
Toots got that voice. It's totally his, and there's no one else can touch that. That is his blessing.
Toots is an amazing character. You know, he doesn't quite fit into the reggae mold. I mean, he's got a soul thing on him. Sometimes, you know, we used to think it was Otis Redding singing.
Time to
everything is out of sight. So hard, so hard.
Time to
everything is going higher and higher.
He stands up with any one of the great, you know, with James Brown, Otis Redding, any one of the great American singers.
I think the reason Toots resonates so much with the rest of the world, and especially in America, is he is just a badass soul singer.
going from east to west now. I just going from north to south. All over America, people keep on asking me if I want to get Kingston, but I ain't got none.
People choose music. Music chooses song. And Toots is one of them music choose.
Just a light, you know, a light. It's like a light and a joyfulness and a happiness. Positive.
I didn't really stop moving the whole time, so I stopped smiling. He just, you know, he gets through to you.
He has an incredible energy that projects on stage and an incredible kind of excitement.
I live to sing because I have to sing.
I found some words in a British encyclopedia that sum him up that I'd like to share with you. No artist ever painted a broader and truer canvas of daily life in Jamaica than Toots. The full-blooded celebrations of Sweet and Dandy, the screaming cry against injustice in 54-46, the harsh strains of ghetto life in Pressure Drop, the sheer exuberance of First Love in It's You, the happy companionship of Never You Change, the ever-present threat of violence described in Bam Bam. That's Toots.
1, 2, 10, 12. You got to believe in the word I say. You got to believe everything I do. I said the music is what I've got me. You to find some way to make it. Music is what I've got, and I want you to come on and do this funky reggae with me.
He sang about his experience. He sang about his life. You know, everything that's happening in his life. And I think that's what made him to be a cut above the rest, you know, like a Bob Marley.
He was easily the biggest act in Jamaica, right through until, in a way, Bob started to catch the attention. But up until that point, Toots was the biggest. And it's not that he dropped out then, it was just Bob came and widened it. But Toots was the biggest. And Toots is, here he is today. Right, you know, he's still huge. I don't know if there's nobody bigger than Toots today.
Toots is one of the last living members of the pantheon, of the greats, the immortals, the people who were there before there was a there.
Toots is great. My father is great. All of them great. To me. There's none that is higher than another one. More popular, yes, but to me, as a youth and as a person that grew up in the music and grew up with my father and with Toots, the people they are don't lend to that ideology of comparison and where does it, that's not who they are. So I don't look at them like that. I look at them as who they are. And them is players on a football team, each playing them role.
After Jamaica got its independence from Britain, it was a sense of celebration, even though the masses did not really understood what is independence. So the music was very upbeat, and it was named ska.
That is the first time that there was music which was really produced for the people, for the simple people in Jamaica.
At the time, the radio didn't play our music.
The more affluent people in Jamaica, they would be buying American music. In 1962, the biggest selling record in Jamaica, believe it or not, was A Student Prince by Mario Lanza.
So you go to a sound system operator to get your song recorded. The Jamaica sound system was the speakers box that the sound comes out of was like 6 foot tall and 3 foot wide with a lot of heavy speakers in it.
The sound system is really a forerunner of the disco, in that you had a group of very enterprising men who saw the need to provide entertainment for the masses on weekends.
Every Friday, Saturday nights, on all corners all over Kingston and the country parts, there'd be these sound system dances. And that's really how the whole music, Jamaican music, emerged from that. It didn't really emerge as in most countries where music emerged, which was from bands playing in clubs. It was sound systems that played, they were playing records.
The Maytals as a group started in 1963. Unlike the Wailers, which had 3 lead singers capable of writing their own material and fronting their own bands, the Maytals didn't seem to have that. But they were exquisite together.
At that time, the Maytals, which was only 3 guys, Toots, Riley, and Jerry, they were local heroes,
I'd never heard anything quite like it because there was an energy and an excitement to the records which were just extraordinary. And they were raw sounding, raw and exciting.
You're treating me bad. You're treating me well. Yes, well.
Toots' voice is one of the great musical gifts of our time. This is somebody who can't open his mouth without doing something interesting.
Toots was a main man with that talent, doing all the lead singing and writing, and, the other 2 brothers, they were doing harmonies for most of the songs that Toots were doing, but they were very important because they made their contribution in their own little way. But Toots will always stand up on his own.
The thing with Toots is that he's the kind of hero of the common man in Jamaica. His songs relate to the common man, and they're simple but brilliant at the same time. Like when him and I would go into a restaurant, all the people come up and they just want to shake his hand. He's like their friend, he's like their brother.
I grew up in Clarendon, Maypen, in Treadlight District, and it's 5 miles from my home to school. Every morning I walk 5 miles from my home to school.
You go straight up the road, then you get the first hill. You reach the first hill and you make a right, a little turn. You see a gas place on your left. That's right there. You can stop right there and ask a tour.
I grew up knowing that my father had 14 children, but I'm the last one. Yeah. And when there's Christmas time, I remember that he always killed 2 cows or 2 pigs and give it to neighbors who don't have anything. So I grew up loving people. I go to school, I give away my lunch money to elderly people and to kids that don't have any lunch money. I grew up that way. So I grew up doing good things in my government prep school, which is so accepted to me in my life.
Daddy, tell my mommy for me. Won't you tell her now? Yeah, tell her that I'm right here. I'm longing to see my mommy and the rest of my family. I would love to tell my mom how much I love her, and I love her till the end of time. Once I was away, far, far from my home. I didn't know how to go back home. And one night as I wake up, I could see clearly that there was nowhere inside. I dreamed
I was little, maybe 8, and Mom passed. But I was about 14, 16 when my father passed.
So I packed my bag and walked on my door. I met a girl whose name Jean. She said,
But the Lord gave me the power to overcome all those infirmities that are around me. And having my mom, my daddy in my mind, that if I honor them, my life will be extended. I keep on doing that. Honor your mom and the father, that your days will be long upon this land, that our Lord God give it thee.
God is good, God is great. Let us thank Him for our food, amen.
When you go to class, you sing about God. You recite the Bible before class started. It was such a respect to the teachers, pupils, and everybody in my school, in my class. And I grew up listening to these words.
The gospel is in Daddy. It is who he is. When he sings a note, it comes from his soul, his spirit. He doesn't just sing without meaning. He sings with meaning. And that is what the gospel is all about.
The gospel is what is in the R&B, it's in reggae, it's in ska, it's in everything, the gospel. You have to make it feel that way. And that's how it gets positive.
Spiritual healing, so good, good, good. It's good for your bad feeling. Start a fire, say.
It carried the spiritual side of African people when they were brought there as slaves. So it have a spirit, our music. We can't help it, actually. It's in the gene. It's in that gene that we, all of us who born in Jamaica or come from Jamaica, and it's in us.
The first time I sing is in church, when my parents took me to the church with them. It was a Clapham church, Salvation Church. And I go loving church, then we sing about good things at all times.
I think that whole tradition of of the overlap of gospel and soul is absolutely the truth in Toots' music.
When he starts to sing, the place lights up. So he's a revivalist, to revive you. Hey, that was the thing.
Reggae got soul, got so much soul. You know, that's really a revival thing. You could just use a tambourine and you just...
So that part of the spiritual era, the revival thing, with whatever church it was, Toots really had that naturally.
He's in the church at Toots.
I think the first song that I heard, which was so riveting, was in 1963, 6 and 7 Books of Moses, which really, it's a ska tune, but it's more a revival tune. So you got that kind of intensity that was typical of Toots.
They are love songs unto God, and to the people, to the children.
That kind of gospel, you see preaching more, that rejoicefulness and what he's saying, and that belief, and that want to let people hear it and try to influence what they think.
She took my pants, she took my shirt, took my pillows too. She took my shoes, took my socks, took my and everything that is necessary. She got everything.
When Toots sings, he seems to be reading from his daily journal. It's his diary. It's the story of the people he was raised among out in the country.
Toots does write, what you might consider to be postcards from Jamaica, letters from a life lived in a particular place.
I got a woman in Trenton that's good to me. Oh yeah. I got a woman living in Trenton that's good to me. Oh yeah. She gives me money when I'm in need. Yeah, she's the kind of friend I need. I got a woman living in Trenton. It's good to me. Oh yeah. I'm a country guy. I don't know much about Kingston. I know more about country and more about the ghetto. But in those days, ghetto was happy, like Trenchtown. So coming from country to live in Trenchtown wasn't like this. It's changed so much that it's really different. This used to be a theater. It used to be Queen Theater that all of us come and sing at this theater and to make our name. When I just come from country, we come to this theater. And it's nice in there, very big. This is where, if you have a good song or you can sing, if you get clap here, people clap here for you, you will be number one. But if you come here and you don't get no clap, go back home, go back to your country. There's nothing gonna happen for you. All this market you go in there, you get things very cheap. Yeah, Redemption Market. Oh Lord. I follow family go there, man, and you have 5 shillings, and you come away with a lot of things and have money lean in your pocket. The 5 shillings.
Yeah, listen. Almost heaven, West Jamaica, through his mountain, shining down the river. All my friends there, holding on those reeds.
Yeah, man. Rastafari.
Like a bee from the road. Take me home to the place I belong. West Jamaica, my mama, take me home, country home.
I grew up listening to Maytals on the radio. Wilson Pickett, James Brown, Mayella Jackson, Elvis Presley, you name it, man. A lot of, Otis Redding, a lot of great people.
Why I say, if you have that loving, if you have that loving, if you have that loving in your heart, you will feel so good. You will feel so happy if you have that loving in your heart.
Toots was more to me like a R&B soul singer. His voice, his approach was more soulful.
For me, Toots is a soul singer, and in a sense, there wasn't a great deal of that going on in reggae.
He took a different approach from the others.
You fight against the king, you fight against the God, you fight against the scripture, you fight against yourself. I say, it called for a change, it called for a change, even right now. Come, my brother, everyone.
When I heard Toots, it's right away, he hit me, right away hit my mind, because his kind of music is what I love.
Probably because Toots was from the country. Yeah. So he'd probably be known as a country guy. And he does things and says things differently. Maytals were the first winners of the Jamaica Festival Song Competition.
The Jamaican Song Festival really came in 1966, and songs would be entered into a competition. And so, Toots won with Bam Bam in 66.
Those days, some artists that was taking part in the festival bring bus load of people to cheer for them. But I didn't have no money to pay no bus load of people. But when I sing my song, the people that they bring to cheer them, they cheer me, end up cheering me.
Toots won the first festival song contest, he entered again and won with Sweet and Dandy. And then the Maytals entered again and won with Pumps and Pride. And then after that, he said, oh Lord, let's give somebody else a chance.
He just had a little catchy word or catchy phrase that everybody liked. You understand? Like Sweet and Dandy.
Sweet and Dandy. Where it's this young man and it's his wedding day and he's having the fear of getting married. And that's what the song is all about, Sweet and Dandy. And then he says, his uncle tells him to hold his head up and not act like it's not time for his wedding day. And then all the people, them dress up in a white to come eat off Johnson's wedding cake. It's the whole story of just the scene of a marriage.
He's speaking to issues of love and issues of, going out and expressing yourself. I mean, his songs are definitely reflections of his own life, and it doesn't, and the fact that they're not political is kind of significant.
He's not what you would call a political singer, although a lot of his music has political implications. We think of Sweet and Dandy, this kind of randy song about a wedding that hundreds of people are crashing and there's only a little bit of cake and they all want a piece of cake and they all want some cola wine, and the guy has no money who's putting on the wedding, and the groom is, crying in his bedroom. It's about this social situation of living in utter and complete destitute poverty, and he puts a smile on your face while you're singing about it.
1 pound 10 for a wedding cake, and 20 bottle of cola wine. All the people them dressed up in a white, we got hit off chance to win the cake. He's no wonder, he's a perfect while they were dancing that ballroom last night, yeah. And there was Sweet and Dandy, 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 all right Dandy, Sweet and Dandy, Sweet and Dandy, Sweet and Dandy.
When we start to sing, we don't get no money for our songs. None of these so-called producers don't give us any money. And they take our work and take it to abroad and they sell it and they don't give us no money. When we ask them for money, they give us 2 shillings, maybe 10 shillings.
We didn't know nothing about royalties. I just came out of school, I was 22, 23, 24. Had a wife, have a little house, and I needed money, so I wasn't worrying about that. I just go play, get this little per side, because when I started the Cox, it was like about £2. That time we used to have pounds. It was about £2.10 a side.
You weren't even thinking about money. You just want your voice to be heard, and you just want to express yourselves, because we weren't paid. We would just go in and just sing every day. At the end of the week, we might get maybe £1, or in our daily lives, we would get 1 patty for lunch in the daytime, and we were so happy.
And really, as artists, what did we want? Just to get your songs recorded. The focal thing that we were going on was not really the money was the motivation. What really was the motivation? To express your artistic quality. And the fact that the promoters didn't take care of us well, I prefer to look at the both sides of the situation. Not that they were all honest, but they had their difficulties too, but some of them could have done better.
I was working with Leslie Kong, he died now, very good producer. And he told me, Toots, I have a brother and he's very ugly, and I want you to write a song about him. I said, no, Leslie, because he's a big man and I don't want him to hurt me. He said, no, man, he won't hurt you. Just write a song about him for me. But when I approached him, I said, good evening, Mr. Fast, and he said, hey, Tootsie, how you doing? I said, not bad, sir. I said, well, your brother asked me to write a song about you because he thinks that you are very ugly and everything like that. And I'm afraid to write it about you. And he said, go write it, man. Go write it. So I write it like this guy is the biggest ugly guy, and he have a girl that's really pretty, and that girl fall in love with him.
Jamaican rhythms are based on the beat of the human heart. It is the tempo that changes. So you've got that initial Jamaican rhythm of ska that goes ska, 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 ska.
A ska would be like something playing.
Ska was very up-tempo, and also it was pretty much all the musicians who played on ska were jazz musicians.
When you go to the dance, you have to be throwing your legs and show your skill and have a lot of energy to dance this music.
And then ska change into rocksteady.
For 2 years, it slows down and has this kind of on-off syncopation.
Rocksteady come and you slow it down when you can easily hold your lady and, you know, do some easy dance, easy rock, easy wine, and yeah.
Like Alton Ellis had one, better get ready, come do rocksteady.